breaking news in the NHL announced just about 1 hour ago. The National Hockey League's Board of Governors approved the establishment of a franchise beginning with the 2024-25 season in Utah that will be owned and controlled by Smith Entertainment Group, led by Ryan and Ashley Smith. In addition, the board approved a plan that renders the Arizona Coyotes franchise inactive with the right to reactivate if owner Alex Morello has fully constructed a new state-of-the-art facility approved for an NHL team within 5 years. So obviously news we had heard rumblings about throughout the week, but this became official. It was a very emotional night last night for the Arizona Coyotes. We'll get to that in a second. We will hear from Commissioner Gary Bettman. We will also chat with Utah owner Ryan Smith coming up in the show. But what is your reaction to this being finalized, Rupper, and where we stand right now with a new franchise on the horizon?
It's tough because I'm also sitting there and I hate what's happened in Arizona. And watching that last game as an organization at the Mullet and playing for that franchise very briefly and understanding that area, it's a special place, man, and you know that better than anybody. And it's tough to watch. So I hate to be like, oh, very excited. But if there is, to turn the page and be like, all right, there's that, and hopefully this team, there is an opportunity for this team to get back going in Arizona. As far as the transition to Utah, I mean, you're talking about one of the owners that you want to see in the sport of hockey, right? Like you want to see in the NHL. And from everything you see about him, a progressive, young kind of go-getter, and creating a market there that's a market that's growing at a rapid pace.
Yeah, and it's somebody that understands how to grow, because when you're growing a franchise, you got to grow the community around it. And it's two-pronged. You can't run it like a normal business because the sports franchise isn't. So much comes from the community, comes from the people around, the people that work there, the concessions people. It's all tailor-made to grow that team and that community. Obviously, you need a good team on the ice as well, but he seems like Ryan Smith understands that, and hopefully he can implement something. And, we heard the inactive to reactivate the team if that's possible for Morello. Hopefully, for the sake of the Coyotes fans and the people living there, because I still live there. Me and my wife are there. I love that community, and it does bleed the Coyotes colors, and they love the team. They love hockey there. So hopefully he realizes this and sees that if he does get the team back, that he can actually build community out and not run it like a business, which is... It still is business, but it needs to be run in a different way when you're dealing with sports. So because there's so many people from top to bottom that affect the team on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, and I think the interesting word you use there, too, is business. This is also a business decision that needed to be made. As difficult as it is to see those faces last night, the passionate Coyotes fans say goodbye to their team. And hopefully, yes, it will be reactivated in a couple years if that arena is built. But give credit to Commissioner Bettman and his entire staff over the years for trying to make this work with the Arizona Coyotes, going to different venues, going to different arenas. They did everything they could to keep this team in Arizona. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. And what did work out was the fact that you've got a young, passionate owner that wants to bring this franchise and make it everything that it can be in Utah.
Yeah, and I think that's where it's at, KT. And I love the efforts of the NHL for trying to make this work over the years, and have really been creative in trying to make it work, and have had numerous ownership there's been arena issues that we know about. We don't need to unpack all of that, but there has been a real there's a know that there's something special there. We just talked about it in that community there for hockey. So but it's also very exciting in Utah. And I don't have the numbers in front of me, but doing a little bit of research on it, it's a huge growing
big market.
And it's a beautiful place. It's a place that I find it's going to be part of the challenge here, and we can only look at it's not expansion. But it's a new market, and what you've seen with some of these other markets, whether it's Vegas coming in or Seattle, it doesn't just, like you mentioned, it's not just, oh, we've got a hockey team here, let's support it and have fun. Like you get into the community, the grassroots, growing the game. And that's something some of these other markets have done really well. I'm really interested to see how that market grows as far as just hockey fans in general, hockey players, youth hockey, boys and girls. That's the stuff that excites me. And that's what creates the longevity, I think.
Yeah, and I to your point, like with what Gary Bettman did. I thought he stepped in at the right time. He's still giving the Coyotes owner an opportunity to, within 5 years, build an arena. So I thought he did. He realized, well, I have this exciting owner that wants to come in and bring a team to Utah. So let's figure out a way to do it while maybe helping out everybody. So I love what they did. They stepped in at the right time. And to your point, they exhausted every resource and every option. And, you know, if you're in any of the NHLPA meetings and you're sitting there with the guys, you know all the numbers, and you know that they've tried everything from the union to the league head office. So I'm glad that they figured something out. And, again, I'm excited to see what Ryan Smith can do. So.
And the thing that just is kind of keep it out there, and whether whoever's watching here out in the Salt Lake area or Utah area, this may sting for Yotes fans to hear, but hey, you're getting a good franchise. Like you're getting. I mean, this is a team that is on the rise, and I picked them to make the playoffs this year. Clearly, that didn't happen. Well, we saw some progress. They have a core group here and a boatload of picks that have already been selected and are to be selected. They're going to get a good team. Like, this is a team on the rise. I think you can look out for that franchise.
Yeah, I think they might accelerate their rebuild plans. They did have like a 3 to 5 year plan, and they're kind of in like year 4. I think they might take some of those picks, go get some veterans.
Yeah.
I mean, what a way to start the career of the Utah franchise, whatever they're going to be called, with a solid core. I mean, you got Gunther, you got Cooley, you got Josh Doan now. You have on the back end, you have Michael Kesselring. You have the goaltender. You have Connor Ingram, Vejmelka, what they do with those. But you have a solid foundation, and you have the same old guys, Krauser, Schmaltzy, Keller, Michelli. Like, they have an unbelievable core that if they can build around and insulate with the right people, it could be exciting right out of the gate. So hopefully they kind of maybe accelerate their plans. And to the guys I talked to on the team, it's bittersweet for them. They're all like, they wanted to make this work. You know, I talked to Krauser, I talked to Keller, and they're all frustrated because they want this to work. They love Arizona. Arizona's home to them, but they're also excited to, like, be given a chance to show what they can do and hopefully have somebody that's going to kind of take them to the next level.
And turn the page on what's been a very challenging situation there in Arizona. And one thing you didn't mention, you mentioned a bunch of the players. Also, there's money. They have money to spend with this franchise now because they're not even at the base of where the salary cap should be. So they have, and you've got an owner that wants to spend that kind of money. So you're going to get a great team in a great area, Salt Lake, the Utah area. I've been there many times. Beautiful place to be, raise a family, outdoor events, and you get a lot of people from the East going out there throughout the winter months wanting to ski and snowboard and do all the fun things that the outdoors bring. So you're going to get those fans, those passionate hockey fans, even just visiting like we saw with Vegas for many years.
Do they need that? Do they need us for pre and post game and stuff?
Do they need a studio crew? We're here. We're there.
Let's bring the whole studio here.
When we have Ryan Smith on, we'll ask him. What were you going to say, Rupper?
No, I was just going to say it's kind of weird, and I don't know, maybe some people don't think it this way, but you know, Shane Doan was with that franchise when it was in Winnipeg and coming there in what, 96?
Yeah.
And it's just it's kind of eerie that the year Josh breaks in, he gets to play these games. What a great story that was, but that he was able, I mean, Shane Doan is Mr. Coyote, right? And Josh is able to go there, play, make an impact. He's a part of this franchise. Just crazy. You know, when that team moved there, Shane Doan was that first guy, and his son is the one to kind of, you know, be a part, or at least be able to establish a memory as the Arizona Coyotes.
10 points.
Yeah,
in 11 games. I mean, he's hot. He's that young core is coming, so get ready.
And there were great memories made last night in the final night at Mullet Arena. It was a tremendous effort from the Arizona Coyotes defeating the Edmonton Oilers in the final night of their existence as a franchise. This is what happened on the ice. And in the final minutes of the game, guys, there was a standing ovation. The crowd just giving them a round of applause. The players saluting the fans as well. The last few games for the Coyotes have been amazing. They've played so well here down the stretch in the midst of all this noise surrounding the organization.
Yeah, I mean, I always take a measured approach at the end of the year when you're out of it, because teams are not giving your best. But they've been exciting. They have a lot of promise to look at. Now it's going to be to them. Now you have the page turned. You have some stability. Now go out and play. Now for the boys in there, go out and play and show them what you're worth. I mean, it's so sad to kind of watch and talking to a lot of the fans. I mean, it's sad for me just and all the former Coyotes that were there. We have a great alumni there. They do a ton of work within the community. So, you know, everyone's gutted there, and the fans especially, because there are fans there. I don't want people to think everybody rags on them. There's no fans. It's not that. There's never a solid place for them to go, and a place that was within reach, because the core group of the Coyotes fans are Scottsdale area and in Phoenix, and it was always a little bit too far in Glendale, and then ticket prices were sky high at Tempe. So, and there wasn't enough tickets to go around. So you never really saw what the Coyotes fans can do, other when they were in Phoenix during their whiteout days, when they're in the playoffs with Jeremy Roenick and Keith Tkachuk and all those guys. So it's sad because we never got to see the full potential of what the fan
But even the youth hockey that's come about it, though.
It's incredible.
I mean, hey, we probably don't see Austin Matthews. You know what I mean?
Matthew Nyes.
Mark
Kastelik.
Yeah, you start going across it. I mean, Austin Matthews has been very clear. If it wasn't for the Coyotes, who knows what sport he plays?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I just think it's made its impact. I want to see it get back there. Man, I hope this works out. I'll tell you what, I'd be the first one there to be a part of. Just want to watch that community get back a hockey club. But right now, as far as health of a franchise, what's good for the league, you got an exciting market there in Utah, and yeah, I mean, big news here to start off.
Yeah, big news. And I think the one glimmer of hope is that there is a chance to reactivate the Arizona Coyotes in a couple years. So if fans there can just hold tight, you know, there is a hope that franchise will return and have an even bigger and brighter and bright, shiny object of a new arena to go to closer to downtown, where you mentioned the location.
The Utah Range, is that a nice name? Mountain Ranges, Utah Range.
All right, yeah. So you're gonna throw that
out
in
there. It's the first we're hearing.
Well, you could ask
Give like a
Ryan
mountain range as a
Yeah, we're just hot take.
Yeah,
early on.
You didn't even call it.
It don't matter. I didn't need it. They do it back there.
Utah Range. Look at you.
But what would be the mascot?
Pitch it to the owner when he calls in.
I will. Yeah. On top of our.
Yeah, the mascots would be like a giant mountain with a snow cap, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd
Could be.
That'd be
All right.
kind of bland. But
you mentioned Austin Matthews.
Mountain Mike. I don't know.